Hey guys, M2 Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection Remastered Mighty Morphin Red Ranger here. So we have Jason. Jason doesn't have an unhelmeted head sculpt, so we didn't get that with this one. All the other remastered figures do. This one, we didn't let the speculation begin as to the reasons why. Austin St. John has some legal troubles. Could that have been it? Who knows? They did include a dragon shield. And that is kind of like an extra accessory like an unmasked head sculpt would be, but I think that's a bunch of bullshit. Anyway, it just doesn't come with one. Does it suck? Sure. Does it hurt me? Not really, because I have the previous Jason release, the original Red Ranger release, so I have his head sculpt. And then I also have the San Diego Comic-Con 2-pack that came with two different head sculpts, although one of them is the same as that came in the regular release there. So I have a head sculpt to use. What does suck is because these remastered figures, I actually do have them displayed without their helmets on. Because I have the first release and the metallic versions, I'm keeping those ones with head sculpts on them. And I was going to have these ones kind of in the morphing pose all together. So they'd have, like, you know, all unmasked. But for this Red Ranger, he won't be. And I think I'm okay with that because he'll be kind of in the center as the leader of the Rangers. And so he will have his helmet on already. So just kind of make do. I could just as easily throw a Jason head sculpt onto this one, but I have this weird thing with my collection. Like, I don't like to mix accessories up with different figures. I know it's weird. It's like my own personal thing. Like, people will kit bash, use accessories wherever. I just can't do that. It's not in me to do that kind of thing. Again, you know, I know it's weird. So that's not something I would do. So I can, you know, I'll be able to display it, no problem. But with the Red Ranger coming with the Dragon Shield, I won't keep it on him. I will put it on the remastered Green Ranger, Tommy Oliver figure that comes, because it doesn't make as much sense to have the Red Ranger have it and not the Green Ranger. If you want to have it with the Red Ranger, that's cool, but it still should have come with the Green Ranger. And it's funny because we technically have a Red Ranger with Dragon Shield already that came in the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive 2-pack with the Zeo Gold Ranger, the Jason version. And then this one is more accurate because we had the sheath for the Dragon Dagger on the left, on his right, excuse me, with the black sheath. But this head sculpt was not good. And so, yeah, so we get the updated body that is pinless. And then, you know, the drop-down hips, but this one has the better belt. You know, somebody could probably figure out a way to swap them out if that's what they wanted to do. This head sculpt was all shaped funky and there's some inaccuracies to it. So, you know, this one is better. I definitely like the shield a little bit more. You know, you have two different colors of gold. One is a much like softer, like rubber. Well, they're both fairly soft, but this one has like this smoothness to it. It's just it's different, but it's pretty cool because it can be adjusted. So if you want to swap it onto a female body, you could do that as well. And then to again move them around between red and green, you could do that. But initial reaction to this figure, it's pretty good. You know, all the standard accessories that we get. So we get, you know, these lightning flame effects here. Just like all the other Rangers did in their own, you know, colors. Black Rangers was purple. We got all three versions of the Blade Blaster. So the one that's in the blaster mode, as you can see here. Again, that does have the peg hole in there. So if you want to put a blast effect in there. The Blade version of the Blade Blaster. So you actually have with the blade out, which is cool. And then we have the holstered version. So this is how it would be holstered, as you can see there, which is cool. We do get the Power Sword, which looks nice, painted well. We get the Morpher with the Tyrannosaurus Power Coin in there, so that is good. And then we get the various different hands. So here is the hand that would kind of cup over. Here is the morphing hand, so it would be, you know, kind of like this, and I'll probably have that pose here later on. Then we also have fists. And then we have grip hands on the figure. So there we go. Looking at the package, we get the 30th anniversary, you know, graphics and everything like that. And then look at the back of the package, see all the accessories kind of lined up together. So there's the Red Ranger. Let's go ahead and get in for the closer look. Red background with a Red Ranger. You know, but I think we can manage through here. But yeah, it looks really good. Again, the shape of the helmet is a huge improvement over what we got, you know, the first time around. As you can see here, It was narrow and kind of tall, and then the teeth didn't go all the way across the visor. So, you know, it just looked a little funky, like somebody squeezed it together. The San Diego Comic-Con obviously was the same head sculpt, so, that was no good there. So, but then we got the metallic release, and, the color swap is probably the same way, but we have the metallic release. And there we have the updated head sculpt, but obviously, of course, because of the glitter in there, it's not something that we could have just popped onto this one. The GameStop exclusive color swap would have been the way to go, where Trini was the Red Ranger, because they didn't make different heads. The heads were horribly sized for the bodies that they went on. But, we have that there. So that is a big improvement. Again, looking at the Dragon Shield, these armbands can be removed, so you just pull it down and then work its way over the wrist, and you just, you squeeze it up so it kind of holds in place. The Dragon Shield can be kind of taken off very easily. You see these pegs, those peg holes, so you could do that, and then you can remove it. Oh, is that a big old paint chip, or is that just? Oh, thank God! That would have been drove me crazy, because I don't plan to keep the Red Ranger wearing the Dragon Shield. So you can swap that around, which is cool. You can leave it on, which is nice. These pegs are very easy to get back in. It's not loose or anything. They're not going to pop off. And it looks pretty good. Holds together quite nicely. We get the black lines on the belt and the holster. That is the difference with these remastered. The Morpher looks really good with the power coin there. Not too bad. Paintwork on the boots, everything looks good. So now we'll go ahead and zoom out for the articulation. Okay, so the articulation, the neck is a separate piece, so you get some good pivot and things going on like that in the neck. It is on a dumbbell joint, so that is going to be a problem. So getting him to try to look up is definitely an issue. Getting him to look down is a little bit easier, as you can kind of move that neck forward to work with it. Full rotation in there, and then again, all the kinds of pivot and stuff going on. The shoulder, you can get the arm to go straight on out like so. You can do a full rotation in there. Just be mindful of the Dragon Shield, of course. Got upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinless elbow, so you get that much bend there at the elbow, which is nice. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. So the grip hands have the vertical hinge. The Morpher hands also have the vertical hinge, but the fists have the standard horizontal hinge. We got the diaphragm cut on the Ranger, so he could tilt to his left that much. He could tilt to his right that much there. You can go back a little bit on that diaphragm, but you get your swivel in there at the diaphragm. There is the inverted ab, so total leaning back, you could go that far, and then coming forward, you can go that far there, which is good. We do have the drop down hips, which the Power Rangers, for whatever reason, they're not the greatest hips. I don't like the way they move. Like the right hip, I can get down to drop down quite easily, but it seems like the left is an issue. That's where it seems to cause a lot of the wobbliness on the male figures of the Power Rangers when they started doing drop down hips. G.I. Joe Classified does it quite nice. The very few that Marvel Legends does, it's quite nice, but it just seems like it's definitely a real problem with the Power Rangers Lightning Collection figures, unfortunately. So just a heads up on that. But you can get the legs to go out that far apart. His left gets kind of stuck. You got to force it a little bit. There we go. Can kick forward that high, which is good. The leg goes back ever so slightly. Upper thigh cut in there. You get a double jointed pinless knee, so you get nice bend there at the knee. You get a boot swivel right at the top of the boot. Foot hinges down, hinges up a little bit. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So there is the articulation for the Red Ranger. So I had to show this off. I removed the shield and the armbands from the Red Ranger, and I popped the Jason head sculpt on there, and that looks pretty good. And then I went ahead and put the Dragon Shield on a female body to show how it is. It fits nice and snug because you would peg it up at the top, but it's quite oversized, and then the armbands are just too big to be able to hold tightly onto the arm, so it just, wouldn't work out at all. But there is your look at that. I wanted to point out another difference between the Power Swords. You could see this one is the remastered, so we definitely get some better paintwork on there, some gold lining, then the green jewels on there. So big difference. The gold is even better on there, so the Power Sword does have a big improvement. Okay, so here are the 4 remastered figures that have released in the US so far. The Black Ranger was released, of course, through Entertainment Earth early at San Diego Comic-Con. I believe Amazon has already begun shipping him out now. I could be wrong on that. Blue and Yellow were the first to come out, and then Entertainment Earth actually just sent out, some of the pre-orders for the Red Ranger. So here we have them together. I'm excited to get Kimberly the Pink Ranger. Most importantly, I'm excited to get Tommy Oliver the remastered Green Ranger, as the Green Ranger is my favorite Ranger. Not that the one that we have is terrible, but it's nice to get another one because he will have the diamond pattern, whereas the first one, the second one didn't have the diamond pattern. But I'll be happy to put this shield onto that one because then I think it'll look pretty good. But this is definitely a solid set for sure. It was difficult to get some of these Mighty Morphin figures as they released, and then they became a little bit scarce, and some were easier to get. Some kept getting re-releases and things like that. But it's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They're always going to sell. And we always want them. We always want updated versions. We always want newer versions. And, with these remastered, we should be good for a little bit. The Lightning Collection is going to go on a pause for who knows how long. It'll pick up, and there will be special releases here and there. So it's not going to be completely dead, but we definitely, don't expect to see a whole lot of figures. So it's nice that we'll have another go around of the full team. I wish we would get a remastered White Ranger. That would be even better, but what we have so far will be pretty decent. These will all display quite nicely depending on how you do it, if they end up using these lightning effect pieces or whatnot. But it's important to get a nice Red Ranger with the better helmet. So there you have that. But you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of this figure. Is it one that you're picking up? Are you passing on it? Are you upset that there's no Jason head sculpt? Or what is your theory on the reason why? Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective and show support for the channel. And as always, thank you for watching.